It feels as though, the previous release just didn't live up to expectations?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So Call of Duty, it has been an annual release has come out every fall since 2005. So this is pretty stunning. It's a big change. I mean, just for a little context, is the last time we did not have a Call of Duty, I believe, was the beginning of the first Obama administration. So, oh no, sorry, it was the beginning of George W. Bush's second term. So yeah, so we're talking about a very long time. And yes, so the previous year's, last year's Call of Duty game underperformed, which led Activision execs to start thinking, hey, maybe we need to rethink this whole release schedule thing, maybe give some of these titles a little bit more breathing room.
Okay, so maybe a little bit more desire, working up our appetite for the latest release. But it also comes at a time that there's a lot of change at Activision, of course, notably that they're being bought. Could it be anything to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's been some conversations or another about how Microsoft will react. But you know what? I think legally, even though they've announced the acquisition that Microsoft is buying Activision, it is not quite closed. It needs to go through regulatory approval, which is expected to be finished by next summer at the latest, summer of 2023 at the latest. So until then, Activision is legally required to just continue operating autonomously. And while I'm sure they're in conversations with Microsoft execs all the time, they are still making their own calls. And I think this was more about the health of the Call of Duty franchise than it was about Microsoft coming in and wanting to make some changes.
Talk to us, therefore, about maybe some of the independent changes they're making ahead of the sale from an executive shake-up perspective, because they were once the acquirer, particularly of the maker of Candy Crush. Then there's some executive churn there.
Yes, again, that was actually just today, is that King, the makers of Candy Crush, they announced that their president and chief creative officer are both departing. Again, who knows if that is really related to the Microsoft acquisition or if, as they said, they want to go spend more time with their families. I mean, we all know what that typically means in exec speak. But again, I just don't think that while it's possible these folks saw the writing on the wall and are like, you know what, that Microsoft's going to make some changes anyway, we might as well get out of here early. I do not think that Microsoft is actually getting involved too much just yet.
Okay. Lastly, talk to us a little bit about where is hot right now. So if we're going to have to wait for Activision to release Call of Duty, there is another game that everyone seems to be talking about, Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring comes out on Friday. Today, the review embargo lifts, so a bunch of criticism just hit. Last I checked, it was tracking to be one of the, if not the best reviewed games of all time.
Wow.
So
wow.
This is a game
what
that's getting a
held
lot
that
of
before? Hype. What was the winner before?
I should check. I think the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was a top one. Mario Odyssey was another top one. Last I checked on OpenCritic, which is a review aggregation site, it has a 96 out of 100, which is by far the biggest game of the year, and I think one of the biggest games ever. But yeah, so this game, it's getting a lot of hype, largely because it's a crossover between George R. R. Martin, who's the writer of the Game of Thrones series, and From Software, which is a Japanese developer that has become absolutely beloved among a lot of gamers for its series Dark Souls, which is known as like a really interesting, mysterious, difficult action RPG series. And so this game combines the two, and it really just takes a lot of smart ideas from a lot of other games, and it's really brilliant. I've been playing a whole lot of it over the past week.